Welcome everyone to this August 31st edition of What's Happening in Crypto with the Crypto Lark, broadcasting to you from New Zealand and bringing you all of the latest from the crypto world and beyond. Today's top stories: Elon Musk and the CBOE both love Ethereum. Everybody seems to want to get onto the blockchain train, and the newest addition to the stablecoin ecosystem is underway. Bitcoin $6,970, falling back just below that $7,000 mark. Markets overall cooling off a little bit after a pretty exciting week. The CBOE global market hints at launching Ethereum Futures. This could be really, really big if it does happen. It will happen at some point. The question is it going to happen soon, I suppose, and the rumor seems to be that it may be happening in the near future. Now, we can look back and remember what happened to Bitcoin when we saw Bitcoin futures coming into play. There was a lot of excitement in the market after that happened. Could we see a similar amount of excitement if the world's second largest cryptocurrency gets futures on the CBOE? Time will tell, of course. Elon Musk comes out and saying at this point, I want Ethereum, even if it is a scam. Not, of course, referring to Ethereum being a scam, but to all of these scam bots over on Twitter. I assume by this point, though, Elon has done a bit of research into Ethereum, which is pretty interesting. And it leads to the speculation of this author over on Fortune fantasizing about if Tesla were to tokenize. This is a fascinating model because in the future, I feel like major corporations like Tesla may indeed be tokenizing. It helps them avoid all that craziness that we see around being shorted in the major stock markets, for example, but also could be a really interesting avenue to letting more regular people into the markets. But it hasn't happened yet. There's no plans of that to happen anytime soon. Just the fantasy of this author over on Fortune, and a little bit of my fantasy as well. California legislature finalizes blockchain working group bill. Now, according to the bill, the group will specifically examine how blockchain can be used by the government and local businesses, what risks might come from using blockchain, how blockchain can benefit businesses and the government, and how blockchain use can fit into Californian law. Best practices for enabling blockchain technology to benefit the state of California. Now, don't get too excited. The group has until July 2020 to draft its report, which seems like an excessively long time considering how quickly crypto moves. But blockchain technology is not going anywhere. Obviously, seeing California having those high-level discussions is great. If we were to see California going more and more blockchain, that would just make sense in my mind. New blockchain law passed in Vermont following Proppy's successful title registry project. Better get busy, California. Vermont is already leading the charge when it comes to blockchain, and of course many other players globally. I think this is a real wake-up call starting to happen for a lot of jurisdictions that they have to get on the train or be left behind. So really exciting to see that happening over in Vermont. And the CEO of Proppy, Natalia, did come over and give a bit of a speech as well, mentioning how the Proppy title registry program was a success there. Very interesting to see that moving. Now, Australia, poised to create national blockchain with IBM Tech. Australian federal agency is developing a national blockchain that will allow businesses to carry out transactions based on smart legal contracts. That is massive. Absolutely massive. Again, California, get busy. To see this being pulled off, that will actually allow businesses to do smart contracts, huge. Huge. Absolutely. The OECD will examine the potential impact of blockchain next month. Now, specifically, they're having a conference to examine blockchain's impact on government activities. There will be more than 400 senior decision makers from the public and private sectors present for the live stream. Sounds like an interesting live stream indeed. This new technology offers such a revolutionary opportunity for any countries which can get ahead of the curve. That's why when you see Australia doing what they're doing, very bullish news for the Australian blockchain industry. We are going to see more countries coming on board all the time until the entire world is blockchainified. Over in Moscow, Moscow's government to use Ethereum to promote transparency in commerce. Now, in particular, it's an interesting use case. In particular, it is going to be for market stalls at the weekend farmer markets. This will be used for allotting trade spots. Apparently, they have around 20,000 applicants, but only around 15,000 spots available. So to bring a bit of transparency, things like timestamps, for example, will become very important. In fact, I've often theorized that blockchain can save Russia from itself. Russia suffers with a lot of corruption problems. You may have heard, it's quite famous. Blockchain, smart contracts, all of this could be the answer to those kind of problems. Now, a weekend farmer's market may not seem like the biggest deal when it comes down to it, but every bit of transparency, because if you have a bureaucrat who is taking money to put people in those spots, then you have a broken system. But if you have timestamps on a blockchain which cannot be rewritten, well, then you have a different situation on your hands. Russia's pension fund also eyeing up blockchain to prevent labor abuse. Now, in Russia, the situation is absolutely crazy in terms of workers being preyed upon by their employers. The employers are often very negligent. We see situations where you might be performing the role of a translator, for example, but in your workbook, they say that you're just an assistant who gets paid, $200 a month, whereas they're actually, taking so much value out of you, or there's a lot of black payments happening. So maybe your official salary is $200 a month, but you actually get paid $2,000 a month. Well, when it comes time for your pension, you're absolutely screwed because you officially made $200 all your working life, even though you were paid more on the side. This would bring more transparency again to a broken system. Not all is so rosy in Russia when it comes to blockchain, though. Russian officials propose replacing the dollar with crypto for arms deals. No, we were doing so good, Russia. Of course, commerce is commerce, money is money. Crypto, of course, has that nice permissionlessness and censorship resistance so that they can go around things like sanctions. For example, now they come out and said that basically it's nice to see this being used by the public sector, but that for arms trading, gold or cryptocurrencies, in order to avoid the use of the US dollar, may be more interesting. Goes on to suggest doing things like sending some nuclear weapons down to Syria and other things. But the interesting takeaway here is that, again, we have more interest in using cryptocurrencies for international commerce, especially where that international commerce is challenged. And Russia is one of the world's largest arms producers, and they sell arms to lots of people. Now, you may not agree with who they sell arms to, but then again, you have to realize that this is a competitive business. The United States is the world's largest salesman of weapons. And so if they can find ways to cut out the competition, countries like Russia, for example, well, they're going to do it. But if they can have easy tools to get around that, again, I would prefer we don't have any nuclear weapons. I would prefer we don't have any war or any of this BS going on. But we never said that crypto was going to be used for the the purchasing of roses for puppies all the time, unfortunately. Sometimes it will be used for missile defense systems and other things like that. And a final story about Russia. It's all about Russia today, apparently. Russian Financial Crime Authority adding crypto tracking to its digital monitoring system. Apparently, they've read all the other news stories and seen all the other interest in cryptocurrencies and blockchain around Russia and thought, hey, you know what? We better start tracking this because everyone's going to be using it. Over in South Korea, South Korean e-commerce startup raises $32 million to create a crypto stablecoin. This is the newest stablecoin on the block. It's going to be called Terra. Now, interesting and noteworthy because investors into this stablecoin, Binance Labs, OKX, Huobi Capital, as well as others like Polychain Capital, some of the biggest exchanges out there looking at this and thinking, ooh, we like that. We would like to be involved. So very, very interesting to see that happening like that. And we will see more and more stable coins coming on board. We already have a lot of stable coins, and it'll be an interesting really experiment in what is money as we see more stablecoin projects coming on board. Things that offer crypto-backed stablecoins, for example, or some kind of mathematical mechanic-based stablecoins, or a trust me stablecoin like TrueUSD or USD Tether, for example. It's very exciting to see where we end up in 5 years, for example, with the stablecoin market. And the final news story of the day, Yahoo Finance integrates Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin trading. Boom! Yet another mass audience introduced to the ability to buy, sell, and trade the top cryptocurrencies. Every day, when you're watching what's happening in crypto, you just see that we are continually building a very large fire, and that people will take notice the bigger that fire becomes. Very exciting times to be in crypto, without a doubt. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. Let me know what you think about any of the stories down below in the comment section. Thumbs up the video and share these videos around the internet to help our community grow. Join the conversation over on Telegram or Twitter, and support decentralized media over on Steemit. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.